Welcome back. We want to continue with the next lesson, and we what we want to do now is to design this part of the page. This unlock your creative potential. So now, the first thing we would like to do is to get this icon to download it. All right. So yeah. So I want to download this icon. So I'm going to export it from here as a PNG. All right. So I just exported it. So I'm going to take it to my bubble. All right. So let's go back to our index page. Yeah. So this is our index page, which is which is the home page. So the next thing I want to do now is to have a group that is going to contain all of these. As you can see, everything here is just about boxes. I mean, everything about some web design is actually about boxes, putting things in boxes. Yes, putting things in boxes. So the first thing I would like to do here is to create the first box, the hero section box. So, and here it is a group. So let me create the group here. All right, so I'm going to name this hero section. Yeah, so hero section, and the layout is going to be column. Yes, because we want to stack the things on it horizontally. All right, so yeah, let me still leave this for now, make this fixed width. Or all right, I'm not going to make it a fixed width because I want it to be responsive. So let's not make it a fixed width. Or okay, let me make it a fixed width and change it later so that we can see the difference when it's a fixed width and not a fixed width. So I'm going to create text inside this group. I'm going to create text inside. So the first text I want to create is, so I pick text from here. So I want to create, oh sorry, we have these icon. We need to put in this icon first before we create this text. So they are going to be side by side. Therefore, we need to put them, both of them, in a group. All right. So we can do it this way. Let me import the image. Let me import the image here. All right. So I'm going to upload the image from here. I just downloaded, which we downloaded just now. All right. So here's the image. If we look at the image size from here, I think it's 54. The width and length is the width is 62, and the height is also 62. So that's 62 by 62. So we are going to go to the layout and make this fixed aspect ratio and okay, fixed width. Yeah, fixed width. Or for now, let's make it 64 by 64. All right, yeah, perfect. So there we have it. We have our icon, and this is the text. So we want to place them side by side. How can we do that? We are going to select both of them, hold shift while you select, and right click to group elements in a row container. So they should, okay, I think there's actually, okay, that didn't go turn out well, so let me undo that and do it again. So text and image, I want to group the element inside a row container here. So this is what we should have. Now this is the text, this is the image, so we want to make the image first. So let's go to layout and make it first. Yeah, so it should be on this side just like we have on our design. And this text is going to say that unlock your creative potential. Let's look at the size of the text. The size of the text is semi-bold and 48. All right, so unlock your potential. Unlock your potential. Oh, sorry, your creative potential actually. Unlock your creative potential. Creative potential. All right. So there we have it. The size of the text is 48 and it's semi-bold. All right. So let's change that here. The size of the text is 48 and it is font width is semi-bold 600. All right. So but the color here is black and this one is our brand color. The unlock is our brand color. So how can we change that? All right, so we can come to the text here and click on this rich text editor, just right underneath, and what we want to do is highlight the unlock and change the color here. Let's just change it to any color, let's say red color, and save. Okay, now we have it as red, and if you can see now, we now have our BB code inside here, and here is a hex code. So we are going to change this hex code to our brand color, and our brand color is the hex code for our brand color is okay, let me see, I've actually forgotten that, but I can get that from here. Oh, all right, let me go to my navbar, click on the button. Okay, so this is the hex code for my brand color, so I'm just going to copy it. Ouch, sorry, I'm going to copy it. Okay, FF9 500, FF9 500. All right, so I'll just put that in instead of stressing myself about that. FF9 500. So let me go back to my index, FF9 500. So I'm going to change this hex code to #FF9 500, and boom, yeah, we have the color changed. So but now there's an issue here. We don't want to make it a fixed width, or should we make it a fixed width? Okay, now it's a right here, it's a fixed width and the maximum width is 584. That is why we have the text jumping down to the next line. So if we increase the width, okay, or we can, okay, let's make it not fixed width and fit the width to the content. All right, so there we have it. So now we have this group, let us name it the group containing icon and text group, the icon and text group. So now we have this, but there's a space. I think there's a little space, so let's give a little space between the icon and the text and centralize them just like they are here. So now what we want to do now is click on the group and apply gap spacing, column gap. Let's make it like, I think 20 is enough. 20 is enough, and let us make the container alignment centered. Yeah, so there we have it. We have it centralized. So we have the first thing. On the second line, we have this with online design and development courses. So how we are going to achieve this is creating another group. As we can see, these two texts are inside a box. So we are going to create another box just like we have it on Figma here. So let us create another box under the first one we've created. Now let's go to group. The group is our box, and as you can see, it can create next to this. So there we have it. We have our box, but it is at the upright hand side. So let's bring it down. So this is the next group, and this group is going to contain with this online design. So the layouts, then we need to set the layout is fixed, so we need to set it to column because we want the text to arrange vertically. So let's input the first text. The first text is with online. I think there's a way we can copy text from here. All right, yeah, so I can copy it and paste here with online design. So let's look at the size. The size is 38 and medium. 38 medium. So let's change it. The layout. Oh, sorry, the appearance, the text. 38 pixels. 38 pixels. And the line width is medium. Alright, medium. Alright, so well, we have it truncated, so that means we need to expand this. Yeah, we need to expand this, and the next thing we want to do is learn from industry experts. Alright, so we can just copy and paste this downwards. So, and let's copy this and paste. Let's paste inside here. All right, so but the size is 18 and regular. 18 regular. So let's change the size to 18 and regular. All right, okay, but they are not aligned well because the container, the group that contains them is still fixed. So we are going to set it to column. So when we set them to column, they are going to stack upon themselves, and we want to centralize them to the middle and horizontal alignment as well to be centered. All right, so the text as well should be centered, or is centered, and this text as well should also be centered. And there we have it. But if we look at this text is not centered as it ought to be, even after setting this horizontal alignment to center. So let us go to this place. This is where we are going to set it. So we've set it to center, yeah, and there we have it. All right, so our page is getting built up. The next thing we want to do here is to bring in the buttons, so here we have it. We have two buttons here, and we are going to create the same. Okay, now as you can see, both buttons are inside a group with spacing of 12 pixels in between them. So we are going to create the last group. So we are going to create a group that will contain the buttons. So let us create a group like this. Alright, so let's name it group button. Alright, so group button, and we can copy the button from our navbar. So let's go to our navbar, button login. I'm going to Control C and come back to my index to put it inside this group, to paste it inside this group. Alright, so now I'm going to change this to explore courses. Alright, explore courses, and I'm going to go to the layout. I'm going to remove this condition because that condition came from where we copied it from. Alright, so I'm going to change the size of the button, the height. I'm going to change the height. Yeah, so let me look at the height that this one has. This height, the width is 195 and the height is 63. So I'm going to do the same here. 195, 63, 195, 63, 195, 63. Alright, so we have our first button. Let me look at the size of the text inside. The size of the text inside is semi-bold and 18 pixels. So I've changed the text as well. The text is 18 and semi-bold, yeah. Awesome. So don't forget that we have the buttons inside the group. Now we want to create the next button. The next button is view pricing. Alright, so let me just copy this and paste. Alright, let me copy and paste. But now what I want to do here is to make the background color white and the text black. So let me change the text to black. Let me change the text from white to black color, and I'm going to change the background color to white. Awesome. So there we have it. Now view pricing. There's no border here, but I think it will be good if we create a border. There's no border on the Figma, but there's no way we can see that this is also a button. So let us add a border to our whole. So we can come here, you can to see the border styles. The border styles should be solid and the color should be black. Alright, so the roundness should be 0, or probably 0. Alright, the width should be 1 as well. So that way we have a border to this button. Alright, so let us change the text to view pricing. Alright, and there we have it. Now we want to align them to the center just the way they are here. So the first thing we want to do is the group that is holding the buttons. We want to look at the layout. The layout should be, okay, it is fixed, but it shouldn't be fixed. It should be a row. It should be in row, yeah, because we want both buttons to be side by side horizontally, and the container alignment should be center. All right, so we should apply gap space between the elements, and I think the gap space we found on the Figma is 12. Okay, you can see the spacing between them, and the horizontal alignment should be center. So there we have it at the center. All right, so we have it at the center, and now we want to make these elements, we don't want to make it fixed width. All right, okay, let's make it fixed width for the group. There we have it. We have our unlock your creative potential with online, this and that. Okay, but now we can see that there are spaces after the navbar and towards this group that contains the company logos. So we are going to create, you can see that this is very close. So how can we create the space between our navbar and this? So let's select the group, the hero section group, and create a margin. The margin is, will give us space outside a box. So let us increase the margin to be around, let's say 90, or let us look if the space here was defined, was really defined. Okay, it wasn't actually defined, so but we can see, let's make it probably 100. All right, fine. And okay, we can see that there's still space between this button and the bottom, so we want to make it wrap up. We want to make this group wrap up to the bottom of this button. So how can we achieve that? We can achieve that by, okay, fit height to content. All right, so the minimum height should be 0. The minimum height should be 0, yeah. So now we have the group wrapped to the bottom, and for this group as well, this group button, we should have the minimum height to be 0 as well, so that it will be wrapped to the bottom of the group. All right, so there we have it. So now let's check the responsiveness of our page. Let's go to the responsive. All right, responsive. Let's look at 992, 976, 320. As you can see, our page is not responsive at all. And let us look at the root cause of that. All right, so the cause, let's go back to our UI builder. Let's start from the box that contains the text and buttons and everything. So we can see that under this elements tree, so this is the hero section, this is the icon, the group, the group button as well. So let us check them one after the other. Now the hero section, let us check the layout. The layout is okay, the maximum width is to infinity, yes, that is right, but let us fit the width to content. Oh, sorry, I think we are not. let me undo that. I'm not inside the hero section. Yeah, so I should be inside the hero section. All right, so yeah, this is fixed width, so we are going to make it, we are going to make the maximum width infinity and the minimum width 0. All right, and we fit the height to content as well, and that is for the hero section group that contains everything. So now let's go to the icon and text group. So the icon and text group, the minimum width is 0, the maximum width is infinity. All right, so we can fit, if we fit the width to content, and we make, all right, we can do that, and we make the horizontal alignment center. All right, so let's check the next one, which is the group C. The group C should not be a fixed width. That is why the page is not responsive. So it should not be a fixed width. The minimum width should be 0 so that it can shrink when we are doing the responsiveness. When we are switching from different screen sizes, and the maximum width can be infinity, and you can fit the width to content as well. Can fit the width to content. All right, so now let's check the group button as well. So it shouldn't be fixed width, and the minimum width should be 0, and fit width to content, can fit the width to content. All right, so with that, let us check the responsiveness again. We should have a better responsive page now. All right, now we are not having it yet. We can see that the buttons are responsive. As you can see that when we got to 320, the buttons stacked upon themselves, and at 768 the buttons spread out. Now the issue we are having now is with the text. The text are supposed to be wrapping up, so they are not. So what we want to do now is go back to the UI builder and click on our text, and we are going to go to the layout. Now as you can see here, the minimum width is 691, which shouldn't be so. That means the minimum width we can have for the text is 691, so that shouldn't be so. Let us make it 0, and fit width to content. All right, let's leave the minimum height at 76, and for this one as well, this is fixed width. It shouldn't be fixed width. The minimum width should be 0. Yeah, can fit the width to the content. Then we can leave the minimum height, and for this one as well, it shouldn't be fixed width. That is why we are not having a responsive text, because we have, this one is saying that the minimum width that this should have is 856, that it shouldn't go beyond this, and that is why it is not wrapping up. All right, let's set it to 0, and let us go back to our responsiveness to check. This is default 992.768.320. all right, you can see now that the texts are now being responsive to the page, except this first one. So let us go back to our UI builder and see what is up with this guy. Okay, we have fit width to content. So I feel we should check the group that contains them, the icon and text group. The icon and text group that contains both of them, and let's see the layout. The layout, the minimum width is 0, fit width to content. All right, yeah, fit width to content, but even with this it is not being responsive. It is not being responsive. So once again, let us check. Okay, fit width to content. All right. What is left for us to do now is to, okay, now at 1200 pixels, the page, the responsiveness looks okay, but at excuse me, at 992, which is the tablet, it is also looking responsive as well. But at 768, which is the mobile landscape, we can see that we need to make adjustments. So with this, especially with this, so let us click on this. Let us click on this and give a condition now that we are going to create an expression that when the current page, when the current page width is less than or equal to, this is 567. All right, 567, the breakpoint, then this text should be, the text alignment should be center. All right, the text alignment should be centered, but it's not making difference here. So let us reduce the minimum width. Okay, the minimum width is at 0. Oh, sorry, this is supposed to be 992 when the current page width is less than 992, because at 992 everything looks okay, but let us create a condition that not less than or equal to, when the page width is, when the breakpoint is less than 992, then the text should be centralized, as you can see here now. Okay, so now let us go to 768 and let's pick on center. Okay, now you can see that the text has been centralized on this 768. Now this is looking okay as well. The icon has been moved to the top, and this unlock your creative potential as well. So now that has sorted this out, and let us go to the 320, which is the mobile. Okay, so as you can see, it's looking responsive as well, but we need to create a condition for this. So let's define a condition that when current page width is less than 420, then the font size of this should be reduced. That's the first thing. The font size should be reduced. And the minimum, let us check the minimum width. Okay, the minimum width is 0. All right. So we are having an issue here with this unlock your creative potential. We can see that it is not getting responsive like the others. It is not getting responsive like the others. So let us go back to our UI builder to see what is really wrong with it. So let's click on it and go to the layout. So okay, we have fit width to content, but okay, the maximum width is infinity, and that is why it is behaving that way, because it is always going to expand. So let us set the maximum width to, like, let's say 300, or okay, I think this 300 is too small for, okay, let us for this breakpoint, for 992 breakpoint, it's looking okay for 992 and 768 breakpoint, but for 320, so let us go to the condition now. That is, let's now create a condition that when the page is less than or equal to 320, less than or equal to 320, the font size should be reduced, and also the minimum width should be 300. The minimum width should be 300. All right, let's okay. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be maximum width, so let's delete that. The maximum width, rather, the maximum width is at infinity, but let us change it to 300. All right, so that will make it responsive. Okay, but as you can see here, that we still have the issue on the breakpoint that is above 320. So let us make it from, let's say, 567. So from 567. All right, so that means 7, this breakpoint, and when we get lesser to a breakpoint that is lesser than, when we get to a breakpoint that is lesser than 768, it is going to get applied. All right, we still have it here, so let us increase it to, so let's see, in this case altogether, let us go back to the 1200 breakpoint and let's go to the layout and set the, I think, the maximum width for, all right, so that's 992.768 and 320. All right, so we are good to go for now, and we are going to set a condition for this as well, that when the current page width is let's define another condition. This is the expression that when the current page width is less than or equal to 567, then the text, the font size should reduce. The font size should reduce because of the mobile. The font size should reduce, and as well the top margin, should also reduce. The top margin should reduce, and for this as well, let's copy this expression. The top margin should also reduce here as well. The top margin should reduce as well. So let's check this out. All right, let us change the font, the alignment, the text alignment for this should be centralized. Yeah, the alignment should be centralized. And the size of these buttons should also be reduced when the page width is less than 567. The minimum height should be reduced. The minimum height should be reduced. The minimum height for this is at 51, 47, so let's make it 47, and the width as well, but the width can remain the same anyway. Alright, so there we have it. We have our responsiveness. We have an issue here, but we can sort that later on. So let's go back to our desktop. This is our desktop. Alright, this is our desktop. Our tablet, mobile landscape, and mobile portrait. So we can fix this ones later, but now we have our hero section to be responsive. So let's move on to the next, which is this section that holds the logos. So this is what we want to create next. Alright.